Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages. We are back on the Tuesday night with the 150 Motorsport Mini Challenge Round 3 live from Oulton Park Island course. It means we don't have the left-hander and the hairpin at the bottom, but it does mean we have Hislops. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Tom Cairns this evening, who's going to come along for what plans to be an epic ride. There's some interesting things developing as well. Jake Hewlett has been given what is known as a pro penalty. Now, I never actually heard of a pro penalty until probably about an hour ago when I was told that he was given a pro penalty. What does that mean? Well, a pro penalty means that he can only do one qualifying flying lap, which is what he's done here. It's trying to make it a little bit more interesting because Jake did take both round wins last time out as well, so they've decided, well, he's too quick. They're going to go and try and slow him down. So hopefully it may work. Hopefully it may not, but who knows? We will find out as we go on here as well. Let's bring Tom into the booth this evening. Tom, welcome in, buddy. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, he does. He's got a 1:39.29 ahead of Jack London on a 1:31.294. So he's still leading the way. He's leading the way in the point standings as well. He's out in front on 80 points with Will Butsey sitting in second and Sam Hayes in third. That's 80 for Jake, 54 for Will, and 42 for Sam. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out here as well. Not the traditional Oulton Park. We haven't got the likes of Ireland, Shell Oils, and Britons, but we are turning right and then going into Hislop. So it's a little bit of a shorter layout.
That we see in a lot of other championships in real life, as well as the virtual side of things, but the drivers will for sure get on with it. I mean, if you look at the top speeds of these things, these minis, I don't know the top speed for absolutely certain. It kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it, for the layout that they're going to be using? Yeah,
absolutely as well. Alicia, I hope that's better there as well. Discord has been a little bit funky with me recently, and unfortunately between that and OBS giving me grief, hopefully you will be able to hear Tom now. Jake, I don't really know what to say about this young man. His superlatives have been well and truly above and beyond. He seems to be just one of them aliens that's completely unstoppable. Probably his real world experience might have something to do with it.
I can imagine so as well. Well, he knows his way around the circuit, clearly does Jake Hewlett, with all his pro experience in real life around this legendary course of Oulton Park, situated in the county of Cheshire, in the United Kingdom. I'm hoping to go there later this year for British touring cars because it doesn't clash with Formula 1, believe it or not. So, yeah, there's something about this place, isn't it? With the undulation involved, the drivers going through it, some corners are named. When you think of Druids, it makes you think of that hairpin at Brands Hatch. But there is a corner that you can just see Jack London is about to go through, if that is his name. Jack London going through Druids to the right-hand side. And yeah, there you go. It has caught out some drivers, doesn't it? And then the last proper corner of the circuit of Lodge. We've seen some drama here over the years in championships, particularly in British touring cars in 2011 when Ben Edwards described it as they've done a Red Bull.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with this circuit. There's been so many great moments here as well. We're obviously very unlikely, if ever, to see Formula 1 round here as much as I'm sure it would go down rather well, but it's kind of cemented into Silverstone, and let's be real, the upgrades that Oulton Park would have to do to host Formula 1 probably wouldn't be worth the cost. But I think that the BTCs go round here, the GT3s at some point to visit this one as well. So I think for us to whack little minis around here, it's going to be very interesting indeed, especially that corner where they do kind of stop on the run down into Islands and then turn right. That's going to make it very, very interesting and exciting to see how they handle that.
Yep, well, Sam Hayes has gone up to 4th place with his last timed lap. A good effort from him to get up that high, although I think it's just been moved down unless I'm mistaken. I'm just looking at the timing pages on here. It's different to what it says on the action itself. Sam Hayes is shown in 5th place on the timing page, but it's saying that he's 4th, which I think it's meant to be the other way around between him and Justin Kirk. But anyway, it is what it is.
I think the reason for that is they've got exactly the same time.
Oh, that could explain it then.
So they've got a 1:31.463 on the timing page, and it's the same on the standings, but they've put him probably in order of who set the time first, I think, is how they've done it here as well. So that's why it's as it is different between the two lots. So there we go. But yes, they are exactly the same time on a 1:31.463, which is absolutely incredible. Jake Hewlett did take the pole with Jack London in 2nd, Chris McIntosh in 3rd. Of course, we've got Sam Hayes and Justin Kirk, Will Butsey in behind, and Ryan Turner, Crypto Dave, Harrison, CF Pinto has come and joined us. Cart number 28, which I find a fascinating name, and Bob, who, Bob was here last time, and he did get a time in this time, so it's interesting to see how Bob gets on. But I think this is going to be an absolute barnstormer. Don't forget, we have got 2 races lined up for you here as well, and race 2 will be a full reverse grid, so it should be a full 12 flip here, with 12th place being down in 1st, of course. How do you see this one going, Tom?
Well, they just didn't want to keep their noses out of trouble. I'm sure Jake Hewlett, providing he gets off to the best of starts, no one's going to catch him. Let's be honest. I think the battle is going to be more on who will get 2nd place, whether it be Jack London or Chris McIntosh. If you look at the times that they've set, it looks quite close actually when you think of those in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. You know, Jack London, Chris McIntosh, Justin Kirk and Sam Hayes. I think that's going to be the battle to look out for in race number 1.
Well, we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, not long. Hopefully you got your drinks, you got your popcorn. Alicia's fed Jake rather well again, probably this evening. So we will see how these guys get on here with what plans to be a very, very interesting race indeed. Little mini challenges scooting around Oulton Park here to find out how they get on. I'm going to be very, very interested indeed. There's the starting grid starting on there as well, and we will be up and running. Jake on pole position, just going to wait for the lights to come on, and then we are going to be green, green, green. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, because I can tell you one thing, it isn't going to be long here as well. Lights are on, lights are off, and away we go. Jake Hewlett out in front at the moment. Let's see how he gets on going into the turn number 1, and he does make it in there and holds on to the place. Jack London sitting in 2nd place, right in behind him. Going to be running him side by side here, all the way down into the left-hander Cascades, and Jake's going to manage to hold on. Jack's going to put him side by side. That's where it looks like the battle's going to start, Tom, as Jack and Jake go side by side already.
Yeah, and there's trouble at the back. We'll get onto that in a moment, but you have to say Jack London did very well to fight it out with Jake Hewlett through the first few corners, but I think Hewlett was always going to have the inside line Cascades, and now through Hislops, the hairpin, they've just gone through now, but heading towards the back, straight up, and then downhill they come. Well, it will be Hislops in the moment. Britain's is what I was meant to say, the hairpin. This is Hislops that they're going through now, the chicane, and then it'll be Knickerbrook and up through Clay Hill and Water Tower before Dewar's Corner. But Jake Hewlett doing everything right on lap 1 so far.
Yeah, there he is. He's out in front. Jack London's just got off the side of the grass, unfortunately for him. Currently, at the moment, he's going to have to play catch-up. He is in the hands of Chris McIntosh now. How is McIntosh going to handle this one? He's going to run him side by side into the right-hander of Druitt. And then McIntosh does manage to make it through on that run down into Lodge. What's London going to be able to do? Is he going to come back at him here? There's somebody else off the side of the circuit at the back as well. I think that may have been CF Pinto taking a trip off the side of the grass. McIntosh just runs it a little bit wide. Up over the hill they go. Over the line, and it's Hewlett, McIntosh, London, Crypto Dave, Sam Hayes battling it out here for the first one. Flying lap from Jack, did what he had to do there, Tom, got out in front.
Absolutely, and you just see that Chris McIntosh going through into 2nd place, and Jack London, who has lost out after his attempt to go for the lead on Jake Hewlett, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sure he can bounce back. We're just looking further to see, because there have been some changes in the field. We're looking at Will Butsey who is almost drifting his way through Cascades. And behind him is Justin Kirk. Now, Justin Kirk, we've mentioned, has been one of those fighting it out for a podium position in race number 1, where you can just see he's going, off the brakes he goes! And very nearly, well, he does collect Will Butsey in the end, use him as a little bit of a brake, but that's a demonstration of not concentrating on your own driving as opposed to looking at the driver in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. London now is tucked in behind McIntosh here as they start going up the run through Clay Hill, up through the water tower, under the bridge we go. We're going to come into the right-hander of Druids, that long double right. Hold on to it, go through the first part, through the second part. Now get the run out and see how you get on. Is he going to be able to catch up with McIntosh at the moment? It doesn't look like it here. What's London got to do, Tom, to catch McIntosh? Please don't say just go quicker.
No, I think he's got to learn where he's losing the most time at. That's his number one aim. I mean, if you take Chris McIntosh out of the equation, Jack London, all he needs to do is just nail each apex around the course, and if he does that, that should help him close in. But he won't do it by going onto the grass like that. That's not one way to do it. Even though it may have helped him a little bit as he's continuing to push his way through the first sequence. Of course, he just missed the apex slightly through Cascades. Yeah, he's running wide a little bit, James. He's perhaps maybe pushing a little bit too hard.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if London can settle down just a little bit there. We've got 3 attempts back from Sam Hayes and Crypto Dave going into the right-hander. Now that run up over Hilltop. This is where it's all going to start getting a little bit speedy for Sam Hayes. Is he going to be able to make it onto the back end? It doesn't look like it. Looks like Crypto Dave is actually closer to London than Sam Hayes is. And there is Crypto Dave, there is London, there is McIntosh, and there's Hewlett somewhere up the road. We can have a look on board with McIntosh now as he just watches Hewlett disappear over the top of Clay Hill, past the water tower, coming into Druids now. And at the moment, I can't see, Tom, anybody catching Hewlett, especially with McIntosh just getting running a little bit wide.
Yeah, and we were seeing this battle between McIntosh and London. The battle between these two explains why Hewlett is able to pull further and further away. But we predicted that Jake Hewlett was going to shoot off in distance, given his form from the start of the season with 4 wins from 4. Well, it seems to be 5 wins from 5 if Hewlett can keep this one up. But this goes back to what I was predicting before the races started. Between McIntosh, London, Hayes, Kirk, and then Dave. Although, having said that, Kirk has fallen down the order. Just seen a few lookups behind. I think that must have been Crypto Dave that locked up into turn 1, but no harm done. The battle for the podium places is hotting up though, James, with 10 minutes remaining. Jack London is keeping Chris McIntosh in sight. He knows there is a chance for him to finish second in this race, which would be quite some doing. I don't think it was around for Brands Hatch a couple of weeks ago, but he does seem to be finding his feet with this new mini machine.
Yeah, Sam Hayes just ran a little bit wide in the background. We just saw it, caught it on the rearview mirror of McIntosh. He has managed to get the gap down to Dave a little bit here. There's about 7 attempts between them currently at the moment. Harrison and Pinto there still out on track. No Bob. Got no Bob. Bob didn't make it. So we'll see how he goes on here as well. But Butsy is with cart number. I can't tell you his name. I have no idea. I did try asking in the Discord. If anybody does know who cart number is, you're more than welcome to let me know, because I didn't have a clue who he is, and I still don't know who he is now as we're on the racetrack even currently here, Tom. So cart number doing a job, and he's got Butsy in behind him.
Well, no, a number 28 in Formula 1 sport. It's like, oh, you can just see so that's cart number going for a spin. Well, I was just going to say, there was a number 28 in Monoram, but that was Brendan Hartley. So that's probably not Brendan Hartley, it will be someone else. But cart number went for a spin into Druids there, and that hands the position to Will Butsey. So I think that kind of makes it easier now for you, James, to say cart number is in this battle then, or so-and-so.
Yeah, he's now down the bottom end with Pinto. They're going to be running side by side. Here comes Butsy and Kirk. Kirk's just got that inside line. Is he going to get it stopped on the exit? Can he get it stopped on the exit? He can, but that's allowed Butsy alongside him. Swapping places side by side. Butsy's got through again. Kirk's coming once more. There's going to be a swap of pink and yellow. It's going to be on each other's cars as they're going down into the right-hander, which will give Butsy the inside there, Tom.
That was a good move from Butsy, nicely done to get back ahead. He's got the inside line for turn well, this is the hairpin of Britain, so he just needs to make sure he doesn't give the inside to Justin Kirk on entry, which he doesn't do so. He should be able to pull away from here, James, because he's on the racing line. Kirk, meanwhile, is doing his best to remain in the slipstream, but he's got quite a bit of ground to make up. He's something like 9 seconds off Ryan Turner in 6th place, and he doesn't have a lot of time left in this one. 7.5 minutes to go, so halfway through this one, Jace, it's going by very, very quickly.
Oh, it is absolutely flying by. I can't see Butsy catching Turner. I think that's going to be a wing and a prayer unless Turner does something dramatic. I think that's going to be where he is. Cart numbers back in pit lane here. Sam Hayes closing in on Dave at the same time. There is Dave. Dave's trying to close in on London. London's trying to get McIntosh, and Hewlett is, well, he's off somewhere doing his Sunday shopping and leading the race at the same time. He's probably picked Alicia up and gone for a run with her. But Will Butsy, Sam, Kirk side by side again. These two are stuck together like Velcro.
Yeah, well, Kirk got back in front of Butsy. I don't know where he managed to do it, but he's back in front of the man in the yellow and white livery Mini, and now they're coming out of the first corner and heading towards Cascades once again. And will he be alongside? Well, Butsy will know the inside into Britain's is where he'll want to be, but I reckon that Kirk will shut the door on him, although Kirk didn't get a very good exit out of Cascades, which will allow Butsy to pull alongside. There is a little bit of that tarmac from another configuration that they could potentially use on the outside, but Kirk holds his ground and remains in front of Butsy, but this is far from over.
Yeah, I don't think this is done. These are the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. Will Butsy and Kirk continuing to fight it out. Turner's still 8 seconds in front now. Hayes is a little bit further back from Dave. Dave's back from London. London's back from McIntosh, and McIntosh is 3.6 back from Hewlett. But Butsy and Kirk, they're having a right little ding-dong here. Up over the hill they go, coming into the right-hander of Druids. Butsy's almost got the bit between his teeth here, Tom. You can almost feel the energy coming out of Butsy's car saying, I am going to get this machine. Is he going to be able to do it before the end, though, as we haven't got long to go, coming into the final 5?
No, we haven't got long, but you can just see Kirk and Butsy still going at it. They are closing on Turner despite the fact that they are dicing amongst themselves. There is a bat marker ahead of him. I can say that is not Ryan Turner. That must be cart number 28, who had just been in the pits for repairs. He better be on his toes, actually, because he won't want to get in the way of these two fighting it out.
No, he definitely won't. But at the same time, how's he going to handle the fact that they are coming in thick and fast behind him here? Is this going to be a move out the way? Are we going to see blue flag F1 style? Well, he's given up the inside line, but he's not really lifting to allow him to go through. This hasn't been managed well. It's not a racing here, son. Unfortunately, you're in. Allows them to go on the inside. There you go. Both stay where they are. McIntosh now tucked him right behind Kirk. Are they going to be able to get this done going into the right-hander of Hislops? We're going to find out. Through the right they go. Hard onto the brakes. Over the curb. Taking out that imaginary pylon that does absolutely nothing apart from lets him cut the corner. Now Butsy's in there again. He's not getting close at certain points, though, Tom. That's the problem for Will Butsy.
Yeah, that is a problem indeed. We're just going towards turn... Well, at the beginning of the next lap that the leaders are starting, I can say the gap between Chris McIntosh and Jack London, just waiting for the gap to update itself. It was 1.9 at the beginning of the last lap. What is it now? It's increased. It's 2.7. So that battle is not intensifying, unlike this one.
Yeah, unlike this one here. Butsy's just lost a little bit of time to Kirk, though, so we're going to keep an eye out whether or not he's going to be able to close that back in. They've just done their fastest laps of the race. Does look like Dave has got he's got his sights set on London here. Dave is in the blue, London in that beautifully grey, pink, green machine. Does look absolutely epic. And at the moment, though, Tom, the one man that does seem to be on the move is Crypto Dave, closing in on Jack London.
Yeah, very nicely done there from Crypto Dave, keeping Jack London in sight. It feels like Chris McIntosh has gone away from London. London had a really poor lap compared to what McIntosh did. Comparing the two times, McIntosh did a 1:31 dead, Jack London did a 1:31.8, so he's lost nearly 8 tenths to McIntosh. So McIntosh is looking good for second position in race number 1, with Jack London and Crypto Dave fighting out for the final podium position.
Yeah. They're still continuing to go. Jack's dropped a little bit back here away. You can see McIntosh is well on his way away from these guys. Kirk and Butsy have started to get a little bit of separation in their fight, but it's all about what Dave's going to be able to do here. 2:47 on the clock. Hewlett's gone over the line. It's a 1:30 lap time. We're going to have one-on-one more here at Oulton Park on the island circuit going into turn number 1. Dave's got the bit between his teeth. You see London opens up that corner really wide, and that's where Dave doesn't kind of open it up. He tightens it up instead.
I don't know why he would tighten it up like that for Dave. I don't know whether he's trying a different line to what London is doing, but he is keeping him honest. With it only been a couple of laps left of it here, so if Dave's going to make his move, he needs to do it now, really, or at least give London a little bit of a fight in the closing minutes of this.
Yeah, he's trying to close the door, but he's only going to have one more to go. We're going to have to try and keep an eye out to see whether or not this is going to be something that Dave's going to be able to do, or is London going to hold on, or is Sam Hayes all of a sudden going to get a march and come and join into the party. It's 1:47 on the clock. Hewlett out in front, absolutely dominating this currently. Here's Jack Hewlett. He's doing a great job here. Ryan Turner's sat in 6th place at the moment. Justin Kirk in 7th. And you can see they've started to separate away from Will Butsy. He's just lost a little bit of time in behind him. Dave is starting to move a little bit closer, but I think he's going to only have one more lap here. Hewlett goes over the line on a 1:17 left on the clock. Final lap here for Jack Hewlett.
Final lap, indeed. This has been a, well, I don't want to say it's been an unchallenged race because, you know, he's only like 5 seconds in, so it's not like he's put out a 15-second margin or a 20-second margin. But I don't know whether it's just the fact he took it easy, knowing that he's going to be at the back of the grid anyway. Doesn't want to take too much energy out of himself because he does have a back of the grid start for race number 2 because of the reverse, the full reverse grid.
Yeah, in a way, it's one of almost a demonstration for Jake. You know what I mean? He's gone and just kind of shown everybody what he can do here, and he's absolutely dominated this race once more. And that's how it's been. All the battles have been in behind. Dave's been trying to close in on London. Hayes has been closing in on Dave. Butsy and Kirk have not left each other alone. Unfortunately for Cart Number, he had that earlier incident. Pinto's not really been on the scene, neither has Harrison. So at the moment, Hewlett has just gone and dominated this one, and he's only got one more corner to go. Coming into Lodge now, Jake Hewlett absolutely dominating, 5.5 seconds out in front. He will have a reverse grid for race number 2. Let's see how he deals it, but at the moment he comes over the line. Hewlett takes the win. He takes race number 1's victory. Winner, chicken dinner for Jake Hewlett here, Tom.
Absolutely so. Something that Dennis Hauger would probably say over the team radio once upon a time. But yes, great performance from Jake Hewlett from start to finish. Chris McIntosh, a well-earned 2nd place for him ahead of Jack London, who holds off Kritzer Day for the final podium position. Great drive.
Yeah.
Just seen Justin Kirk over the line ahead of Will Butsy.
Yeah, he comes over. Butsy there as well. Them two had a great little ding-dong. Harrison in the equation. He's coming over the line as well. There he goes. There is Pinto. Not really seen much of Pinto, unfortunately. And I think Cart Number is still running. He's just about to come over the line and finish off his race as well. Over the line he goes, and there comes Pinto at the same point. And both of them wrap it up. But it was Jake Hewlett, your winner for race number 1. Chris McIntosh in 2nd. Jack London in 3rd. Crypto Dave in 4th with Sam Hayes, Ryan Turner, Justin Kirk, Will Butsy, Harrison and CF Pinto rounding out your top 10. And then behind that is Cart Number. But Jake Hewlett again. What can they do to stop this man, Tom?
Well, fight it out and get their elbows out, because they've got a chance to do that in race 2 with the full reverse grid. And Jake Hewlett, well, he's not going to have it all his own way in race 2. If you look at the gap he had over the rest, it was only 5.5 seconds on Chris McIntosh. I don't think it's going to be that easy going into race 2. It may well be him overtaking the leader on the last lap to take the race 2 win.
You reckon?
It could well be, yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're going to hold and find out here how far Hewlett is going to get and whether or not he's going to be able to take the victory in race number 2 with a full reverse grid. Bit of a shame that Bob couldn't make it. That would be one less car for Jake to overtake, but they did only give him 1 lap and it really didn't make a difference. He still went on, took pole and took the win at the same time there. I don't really know what else to really say, to be honest, regarding Jake Hewlett here, Tom, apart from the fact you're looking at it, you're giving the championship win now.
I would say so too. I mean, we've got 3 more rounds to go with 6 races comprised in those, but I can't see anyone catching Jake Hewlett. It's going to be a matter of who finishes second in the Drivers' Championship. See who can pick up the most podiums other than Hewlett.
Yeah. Well, let's see, as we're going to be going into race number 2 very, very shortly, and seeing how he gets on here and whether or not he's going to be able to take the victory from the back of the grid. I'll be interested to see how he gets on and whether or not anybody's going to be able to stop him. I can't really see where that's going to come from, to be honest.
We'll see soon enough as we transition from race 1 to race 2, and we'll have a full grid in a moment around Oulton Park, which is due to host British Touring Cars later this year. As I've mentioned, looking forward to it should I go, but it has hosted some brilliant races over the years, no matter which championships have been here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Touring Cars hurtling round here has just been absolutely amazing, and there's been lots of different other series that have taken part. Obviously, you can go and check out Oulton Park's website and see what they've got on and go and have a look as well, or what's been happening and what you want to get yourself involved with. So we'll see how, if anybody wants to go and venture up there, let us know on that one. Maybe you go up the same time as Tom and go and say hello while you're up there. I'm sure he'll be happy signing autographs, wouldn't you, Tom?
Yeah, hopefully do some presenting stuff for someone. I won't mention the brand's name on here, but I haven't been to Oulton Park before, that's all I'll say. But from what I've heard from some people, it is a brilliant racetrack to visit had I not been. So that's one of the boxes I'm looking to tick this year. Because last year I went to Donington for the first time, enjoyed it, and the same with Brands Hatch for the first time. Both off the boxes, both boxes ticked. Now it's on to possibly Oulton Park and Thruxton. Should I go to Thruxton? You've been to Thruxton many times, actually, haven't you?
I have, yes. I was up with Superbikes. I've been up there for touring cars as well, and both have been absolutely awesome, to be blatantly honest. There isn't a... you definitely don't want to miss any racing at Thruxton if you can. Right, race number 2 now. Full reverse grid. Here we go. Lights out. Cart numbers at the front. Hewlett's at the back. How long do you give him before he gets to the front of the grid? Well, we're going to find out. They are green. Cart number holding on to the lead at the moment. McIntosh sitting in second. London in third. Then you've got Crypto Dave, Sam Hayes, Ryan Turner and Kirk. Hayes did look like he's just taken a trip off the side of the circuit, though, unfortunately, and has lost a couple of positions. He's running side by side with Butsy at the moment. Hewlett's still in the back. London's still there, trying to keep Hewlett behind him. You can see as well there was a little bit of argy-bargy car number running side by side with Harrison, going down into the right-hander. Pinto's going to put it 3 wide. Oh, dude!
That is way too clumsy. Way too clumsy. And yeah, I would expect Pinto to be given some form of penalty for that, because that was not a clean manoeuvre by any stretch.
Oh man, it definitely was not there. Pinto just went and punted to pass. But Pinto there, and Kirk has managed to make moves in the background at the same time. He's got Turner in front of him. Harrison's there, London's there, Hewlett's there. Number's gone down after being, well, ejected off like a, I don't know, really. I can't think of an analogy for that one. That's a bit of a surprise. But Jake Hewlett coming up now. He's gone halfway up through the grid already. He's sitting in 6th, and he's got London tucked in right behind him here. How is Hewlett going to handle this one? Because he's got McIntosh running him side by side through the right-hander of Druids. Coming into the final corner of Lodge. McIntosh still having a go. Is he going to be able to make it through here? Hewlett locks up. McIntosh looks for the inside line. Doesn't quite get it done. But I can tell you what, Kirk, Turner and Pinto having a right little ding-dong at the front.
Yeah, how does Pinto play? So if he breaks too late here. He could end up going wide, which make him miss the apex. He does miss the apex, which will allow the door open for Ryan Turner to get alongside prior to the left-hander of Cascades. And Pinto holds his line, but looking also at Justin Kirk. He could take advantage of an open door should these two continue to fight amongst themselves. But it looks like Turner's got the job done. Pinto went too far out wide into Cascades.
Yeah.
They're coming into Britons again. You see who's that's coming up. That's
London.
London.
Oh, was there contact? Well, we're going to have to try and decipher that and keep an eye out for that one. After Hewlett sitting here and here at the moment, he's still got McIntosh putting pressure on him as well. Pinto and Turner. Kirk. Oh, Pinto's gone. I think that was contact from Harrison. I've got to be honest. I think that may have been contact from Harrison that's just sent Pinto all the way down to the back of the field. But in a way, is it a kind of karma after he sent cart number flying?
Well, we'll see, but that was too clumsy on that 1-1. I don't know if he was just using the field like it's a pinball machine to him. It just batters every driver he could look for. Oh no, that's a spin for Justin Kirk, and thankfully he does not collect the field coming through Druids. Oh. But now he still sees, that was Jake Hewlett. He nearly went round as well.
Yeah, Harrison and Hewlett nearly made contact there. McIntosh is now, Hewlett's dropped back. He's behind Kirk at the moment. He's going to have to try and go again here for Hewlett. He's got Kirk alongside Numbers, overtaken Hayes. Hayes has overtaken Number. They're running side by side at the moment. Here on the one down into turn number 1, there's London. And there is cart number there as well. Sam Hayes did manage to get it. Hewlett and Kirk. This is fast and frantic here, Tom, with all of these guys going at it.
Absolutely. So absolute chaotic beginning, but Hewlett is seeming to be loving it so far. Justin Kirk doing his best to keep his car on the circuit. Felt the car was understeering through Cascades. But heading towards Britain now, given the field is a little bit more spread out compared to the first couple of laps. We shouldn't see too much chaos this time around, although Will Butsy's got through on Sam Hayes heading into Britain's. But there's contact made between Butsy and Hayes. Well, through all the drama we saw in race number 1, I don't think Butsy would have been too impressed with that, with Sam Hayes pulling alongside. But it's so wheel to wheel. It's almost like Senna and Manson at Barcelona all those years back. Thankfully, one of them does yield, but my goodness me, this battle is absolutely thrilling to see.
Yeah, Hayes is not giving it up though. Butsy's a little bit further in front. Dave in the background there. Number and Pinto, both of them took each other out. Pinto took out Number, and then I think Number got hit from Harrison, and he's dropped down the order. Hayes is coming in after Butsy like an absolute banshee here. There's action further down with Kirk and Hewlett as they're continuing the fight, but Sam Hayes on that run down into Lodge here. McIntosh in front, Butsy in front of us, sorry, and Dave in behind. What's going on up front? McIntosh is running side by side with Turner. Coming into turn number 1, McIntosh in the yellow and black, Turner in the neon green. Turner's off, he's gone digging, he's gone rooting. Izzy Moore should have been on a lawnmower and a Mini. Well, he managed to get it back, coming into the left-hander of Cascades now. And that from Ryan Turner and Will McIntosh was about as close as to action. Chris McIntosh was about as close to action as you could possibly get.
Yeah, that was a little bit too clumsy. I don't know who really was at fault for that or racing. But McIntosh doing his best to hold off to Ryan Turner. McIntosh has been consistent with his lap times all evening. He will want to try and pull away from Ryan Turner so that he has enough of a buffer for Jake Hewlett for when Hewlett eventually gets onto the rear of him in the closing laps of this one. We've got a race on our hands, and thankfully Jake Hewlett is not dominating proceedings here. And I did say it would take until the last lap for him to get by the leader, whoever it was going to be. I wonder what the odds are now for that. It could well have been slashed, and just seen Hewlett and Harrison dicing it out on the way up the hill. And how was that battle playing out? Hewlett is still in front, but he's not exactly pulling away, is he?
No, he's not. Harrison there, Kirk's in behind him. Hewlett's there as well. These guys still continuing to fight. Harrison and Kirk running side by side. London's coming sticking his nose in at the same time here. He wants a piece of this action, and he's going to get it as well. He's going to get it in the forms of Kirk. Harrison is not letting these guys go whatsoever. He's trying to close them up. He's trying to make sure that they all stay together. Hewlett now getting a little bit...
Oh, that's naughty.
London there. He didn't take the position, though. He didn't take the position. He did allow Kirk to stay there. So that is good. But, yeah, he did do a good job there from Kirk. from London, sorry, he allowed Kirk to carry on.
Yeah, well, thankfully he didn't take the position. Well, I probably have to take my word back a little bit saying that was naughty. I think it was more accidental rather than the fact that it was naughty, so I'd take my word back for that. But they carry on as they are. Harrison doing not too bad of a job up there in 4th place, despite his, his melodies a little bit earlier. But he is holding up Justin Cook and Jack London not too badly. London, if you remember, had that spin into Britain's, which threw away his chances of potentially taking the lead of the race. The gap between McIntosh and Hewlett, the gap over the line at the beginning of the lap, I think was 3.1 seconds. The gap, well, it's certainly less than that now.
Yeah, it's going to be a different form of gap at the moment here. It's going to come down a lot. Harrison and Kurt running side by side. Hewlett to Turner to McIntosh. There is McIntosh. There is Turner. Hewlett is here, there as well. He's closing in on Turner. Harrison, Kirk and London are not separating Hazen, but Kirk's just done to Harrison what London did to him, but Kirk went and took the position.
Yeah, well, he may have felt like he had the right to go for it. He's now into 4th position. Harrison down to 6th. Lock up into the first corner, and that's another change of position because Jack London is now in 4th place. Oh, there's Tangle, and that's a Constantina collision, James.
Yeah, Harrison goes off there. Unfortunately, he's going to drop all the way down the order. Hewlett has just got Turner. London's just got Butsy and has moved forward as well. Dave's in behind Hayes, and cart number is in behind Harrison now. Kirk's gone down the order at the same time. He's gone all the way down. Unfortunately for him, he's dropped down the bottom end of the field there. What was it? Just racing?
I couldn't quite tell. I think it was just an accidental concertina between the 3 of them. But thankfully, no one else was involved in it. We're looking at the race leader, Chris McIntosh, who's lead over Jake Hewlett, who's now up to 2nd place at the expense of Ryan Turner. Says it's something like 2.8 seconds. If that is the case, that'll be because of the battle he had with Turner. Now he can get on with it and start fighting out. He's got 6 minutes to go, plus how many more seconds we've got by the time the clock reaches 0 on the final lap. I think it will come down to the last lap for Hewlett to get the job done, James. I really, really do.
You reckon he's going to catch him by the final lap?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Well, we're going to keep an eye out, ladies and gentlemen, and see whether or not Tom's right. It's 2.6 seconds. Well, we're going to find out. 1:31.223 last lap, 1:31.097. McIntosh was quicker. So let's see here whether or not he's going to be able to keep that ahead. Dave and Hayes have not left each other alone. There is Hayes, there is Dave. Dave's kind of trying to close in, of course. And at the moment, Crypto Dave's doing a great job. Number is at the back. He has got Harrison not too far away. So that battle's definitely going to happen now, Tom, as Number goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, it does, and that will give Harrison a chance to at least send one round the outside, but that's not the optimal line to be taken into Britain's corner. It is a flat corner around this section of the course, and Harrison going way, way, way deep. I don't know whether cart number just slammed on the brakes earlier than expected, which gave Harrison the high ground on the exit.
Yeah, it just looks like he sort of went in a little bit deep there. Pinto now is closing in behind him. We'll see how he gets on. There's Kirk in the background. We've still got Butsy chasing down on London. We've still got London trying to close in on Turner. And Dave is still with Hayes. It's a sort of, it's almost like a find your friend on the racetrack and drive with him here this evening.
Oh, it feels that way. Well, you can see Crypto Dave just keeping up with Sam Hayes for the time being. He thinks he can still salvage something from this one. The gap is now 1.4 seconds, I'm looking, as they head over the line, just under that. Hewlett able to take out, he took out over a second on McIntosh on that last lap alone. Time is running out. He's got how many laps he's got to go? He's got probably, I'm looking at the timer, James, on that side there. What did it say on the timer on the, because it's very
3:43 to go. And he's 1.2 seconds back. That could have something to do with a 31.6 from McIntosh and a 30.489 from Hewlett. So you may be right, but we're going to find out whether or not it's going to happen.
Well, he's closing in drastically. I reckon he will get this overtake done sooner rather than later, even with the best of resistance from Chris McIntosh, I think Hewlett will still have too much for him. But McIntosh will give it a good go.
Yeah, I'm hoping McIntosh gets his elbows out and defends like an absolute trooper here. Not that I don't want Jake to win, Alicia, but don't, start firing things at me. I'm not a hater. I just think it'd be good if McIntosh, could go and give Jake a little bit of a battle. Stick your car in the right place. Run him on the inside. Run him on the outside. Make him work for it. Don't just roll over like my little dash hound and get his belly tickled here. For old McIntosh, he needs to go and get his elbows out a little bit, Tom. And I think that's the thing as well. If he could do that, then maybe, just maybe, Hewlett might have a battle on his hands.
Well, we've got 2 laps left then. Chris McIntosh is less than a second clear of Hewlett, but it's not about the gap, it's just making sure he stays in front of Hewlett by the end of the race. Hewlett's got to throw everything at it now. He can't play it too easy on him here. He only won by 5.5 seconds over the second place driver in race 1. Now he's got some overtaking to do. I mean, I don't know whether he took too long to get by the others to this point, but he has got enough time to get it done here.
Oh, that was a little bit wide on the exit for Hewlett there. 1.1 seconds. There's going to be 1 lap remaining after this. You see him looming there. You almost need the shark, the jaw music in the background currently at the moment, and dun, and dun, and dun, and you can see London's having a right old little ding dong with Turner further back. There is London. Over he goes, and that's Ryan Turner in front. Hewlett now within 0.8 of a second here. Is he going to be able to do this? Oh, what's McIntosh got to do, Tom? What's he got to do?
Well, he just needs to put the car in the right places. He's not within range to attack yet, is Jake Hewlett. But if McIntosh makes a small mistake out of any of the corners, felt a little bit cautious through Lodge, it's Jake Hewlett who's got everything to risk it for. McIntosh cannot take too many risks. So it's his race to lose, is McIntosh's, but Hewlett is going to throw everything at it.
Yeah, Turner and London side by side. London's got the inside line. Through he goes, the 33 over the 777. Oh, it's not done. Turner's going to try and run him around the outside of Cascades. I would not recommend that line at all, because London's just going to send it in deep on you. Open up the steering. He's going to come across your nose. There we go. Job done for London, and he will have the inside. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hold on to your hats. It's literally not much left of this race now. Is McIntosh going to be able to do this? Is he going to be able to hold on? Hewlett, oh, he just looks like he's putting him off, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, he's got to... Well, I don't blame him for doing that, because to put him off, which he is doing. Can McIntosh just read into that in the remaining corners? And if he does so, then that's race victory for him here.
Oh, defend. Put it on the inside. Don't you give him up that inside through Drew as they go. I swear, if I was McIntosh right about now, I would have sweat coming out of every orifice possible.
Yeah, well, he's got to absolutely dummy in here, does Hewlett, if he wants to win this. McIntosh absolutely nails it. He's got it, James.
Oh, he's going to get it onto the final run. Chris McIntosh looks like he's going to take the win. Hewlett's going to be close. 2 tenths close. Oh, Chris McIntosh takes the win. Turner and London running up to the line as well. It looks like London may have it. Looks like London's got it. Just with Will Butsy in behind him there as well. Sam Hayes comes over the line once more ahead of Crypto Dave. Harrison has been involved in his own little dramas. Cart Number's been involved in his dramas as well. And then we've got Justin Kirk in the background as they come over the line. But Chris McIntosh taking the victory. First victory, I believe, for Chris of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just checking race number 1. Yep. Round 1 was done by Hewlett. Round 2 was done by Hewlett. And it's good to see round 3. Race 2 was done. GG's. So there we go. That was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them 2 races. That was epic.
Well, that was exactly what we needed. We thought it was going to be another Jake Hewlett whitewash, didn't we? Well, Chris McIntosh proved that wrong, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He absolutely did as well. And I do wonder, though, if it went one more lap, whether or not Hewlett would have got him. We can't necessarily guarantee that would have happened, but I think it was close as they're still continuing to fight, and Hewlett does go through. I don't know if he's proving a point or whatever there, but I don't know. Would he have made it through the round? Would he have made it over the line? Do we think McIntosh with one more lap to go?
Ugh, I think he would have maybe have sent it through Britain's, but it just depends on the nature of McIntosh nailing the apexes through the likes of Cascades and that. But he did very, very well to hold on to that fitch. It was vitally important. He moved into the lead at the time in which he did. Otherwise, he just wouldn't have had the gap or the buffer he would have needed for the closing minutes.
Yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, here as well. We have got a couple of people in the booth with us. This is very interesting indeed. Mr. Sam Hayes. Sam, welcome in. Sam?
I don't even know how to speak, mate.
What do you
Hello?
mean? Hello.
Hey! I didn't even know I was on voice.
Well, you are. There's a lot of people in here at the moment. This is very interesting indeed, Mr. Hayes.
I know. We finally beat Jake. We did it.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
You did. No, Sam, you didn't. Let's you know what I mean? Let's not take credit here. You know what I mean? Chris
I'm
did
taking
it.
full credit. Chris did do it.
Chris did do it, but he did it by a very thin line, though, buddy. That was the thing. He only had about barely 2 attempts going over the line here. So
I need to watch it back. It was a good race.
Mate, it was from everybody there as well. Mr. Ryan Turner has joined us. Ryan, welcome in. How are you?
Oh, he's definitely not going to speak.
Why is he here then?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't even know I joined, to be fair. I was just watching the stream.
Oh, all right, mate. Well, welcome in. Thank you so much. Anyway, this is what happens when you watch the stream, you see, Sam. You end up in voice chat.
I know.
All right, mate.
That
Well,
is
there we go.
sweet race.
Yeah, it was a sweet
Well done,
race. So,
everyone.
Sam, why don't you tell us where we're going next week?
Honestly, mate, I cannot remember. I've just taken my VR headset off and I'm trying to get my bearings. Do you know? Because I'm not sure.
Do I know? Well,
I hope you know.
Well, I hope I do know as well, because isn't it Cadwell Park next week?
Oh, yeah. Carnage Park.
Yeah, Cadwell Park next week, guys, as well. Tom, final words from you, buddy?
Well, we finally saw a different race winner other than Jake Hewlett, and Chris McIntosh wore the name. And will we get that in the next round of the championship in 7 days' time? Answers on the postcard, because we all know that Jake Hewlett can be beaten.
Well, he can, but we did have to blink and do him up in qualifying, and then it was all, for a made-up pro penalty, which I absolutely...
It's real. It's real.
It's real, is it, Sam? Okay.
It's in the regs.
All right, well, it's in the rules and regulations, apparently. If you go and search www.they'renotthere.com, you might be able to find them. Right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Tom Cairns, and as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.